Hello, my name's Terry Hess. As a podiatrist since 1993, I've always wanted to help our patients. The last 5 years or so, I've wanted to help us, the podiatrist, to make it better since these times are changing so rapidly, and now with COVID, even more rapidly. So my plan is to try to reach out and help all of us that I can to make it better, especially on the other side of what's coming our way, because I really think we have an opportunity to do a better job than we've ever done through telemedicine and just forward thinking. I have my CFO, Brian, here, who put in tons and tons of hours getting this ready for you, and here he is.
So my name is Brian Alvarez. So my focus is only going to be on the Paycheck Protection Program. There are a number of things out of the CARES Act that it's possible that you all may be able to take advantage of. I'm not sure about everyone's unique situation. So I'm only going to focus on that one program. And all of my, and I have a bunch of PDFs that I'll share with everyone as well. So all of my data is from government sources or like the Chamber of Commerce, just because I've been hearing kind of like just misinformation around, right? So I just want to share with you the information where it came from and how I will be doing the calculations, right? So I have a lot of my data already, so I'll be up really early tomorrow morning just in case the application really is out there for me to fill out. I'll be able to fill it out. So just to start off, so I will share just the Word document first. And like I said, we'll share this afterwards in case you want to use any of the links, bring up any of the documents. Right here is a lot of the links that that I'll be sharing with you all. So as you see, the actual Paycheck Protection Program application itself, and I'll go into detail for all of these. The Treasury fact sheet, this is a wonderful document. If you all have not looked at this document, this to me is the best source. And again, this is straight from the Treasury's website, right? The Chamber of Commerce does a really good job as well. Then this is the actual statute itself, the actual law that got passed with only the Paycheck Protection Program section, right? And then I have a list of the biggest SBA 7A lenders, just in case you haven't found one yet. There's a list of all the different lenders that you can choose. I can tell you we are using Wells Fargo, and they will not lend to anyone that has not already been one of their customers. So if you weren't a customer of them, you're out of luck. But there are a lot of choices that are out there. I had heard about US Bank being one of them that you may be able to reach out to. This right here is the Accelerated and Advanced Payments fact sheet. That's one of those items that I mentioned. I'm not going to go into in detail, but I think it is good for you all to know. So it's good stuff right there. And then this is a link to, this one's the only non-government website right here. I just thought they did a really good job at calculating your loan amount and how you could figure it out. And they have some really nice examples on there. So I'm going to go into some of the Treasury fact sheet there. So this is the application itself. It's really easy, really straightforward. If you all haven't seen it yet, again, the link is on there for you. You'll be able to look at it. This is just step one, right? It's a multi-step process. Step one is fill out the actual Paycheck Protection Program application form. But then step two is turn in all the documents that your lender is requiring. This piece is really easy, right? You're putting in your name of the company, your EIN, and then you have to figure out your average monthly payroll. This document itself doesn't do a great job at helping you out when it comes to that, right? It gives you the information right here of some of the stuff. I myself prefer, there we go. This is the document from the Treasury Department. So this goes into more detail, and on page 2, it goes into what counts as payroll cost, right? So this has been one of the areas that I've really been hearing kind of misinformation, which it confuses me a little bit because it's literally in this document and it kind of tells you what makes up payroll. So this is the actual document. I'm now going to go over to my Word document because I kind of prefer sharing that one because I have it a little bit written out a little bit differently. So I'm going to scroll down below here. So documents needed to apply right here. You need your payroll register. So That is generally something that you'll either grab from your accounting software or you'll be taking it from some outsourced service, right? So you'll be grabbing your payroll register, then your transcripts for your payroll taxes paid, and then these two items right here, the financial statements and transcripts for payroll taxes paid, was actually requested of me from Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo actually said, hey, Brian, you're going to need these documents. Even though it's not stated in the government paperwork, Wells Fargo told me that. So I do recommend that you grab those documents. And then how do you calculate your loan amount? So again, it goes through wages, right? So you have your salary, wages, commissions, or tips, and it's capped at $100,000. So that would include yourself if you're an employee at your company. So let's say you pay yourself $150,000 a year. Only the first $100,000 is going to count. Anything over that $100,000 gets thrown away, okay, gets put to the side. And then you have your employee benefits. So I kind of restated down over here. So that's your health insurance that the company paid, not the employee's portion. Your retirement benefits such as 401k match and SUTA. So SUTA is your state unemployment. That's the one that ADP does a really bad job because they don't have a document like that that tells you that. There is a combo bill that you can actually figure out how much in SUTA you paid. So I already know these numbers, right? I know how much in SUTA I paid already. I know how much in 401k benefits that we matched and health insurance. So I have all that documentation already because it is in the ADP combo bill. So you take those pieces and then let's say that when you total it up for a 12-month period, so you total up all those different wages over the previous 12 months. So the way that I would view it probably is like April 1st, 2019 to March 31st, 2020, just a couple of days ago, right? So let's say during that 12-month period, you had about $1.2 million in your salary, wages, employee benefits, and your SUTA. So you then divide that by 12, and that's your average monthly payroll, $100,000 a year. You then multiply that by 2, or really the easiest way to do it is multiply by 2.5. But if you actually follow all their steps, technically if you multiply that by 2, then you take that number and you multiply it by 25%, and then you add that 25% to your top total. Again, the same thing is simply multiplying your monthly average by 2.5. That gets you the exact same number. So that gives you $250,000 at that point. So then after that, you then would calculate your loan forgiveness. You'll get $50,000. You can now use that $250,000 on only 4 different items. Payroll cost. Again, payroll cost is made up of salary, wages, employee benefits, and SUTA. And if there's some local taxes that you actually pay based off of the amount of wages that you pay your employees, that would also be included. We don't pay any of those, but if you do, you would include that as well. So what is not included though would be FUTA, which is federal unemployment, and payroll taxes. Neither one of those would be included. Then you would also include, if you happen to own the building that you reside in, you could include the interest payments on that building. If you rent, then the rent payment, as long as you have a lease agreement, and then also any payments of utilities, and that's electricity, gas, water, transportation, telephone, and or internet. So that's really important. Then so let's say that covers all of your $250,000, then you're good to go. You're going to have your loan forgiven, but it does get reduced, and that I don't have on here because I thought the Chamber of Commerce did a really good job with that document. So here's the Chamber of Commerce right here. So as you see, reduction based on reduction of number of employees. So you have your payroll costs that are right here. Then you have your average number of full-time employees, FTEs, per month for the 8 weeks beginning on loan origination. So let's say you managed to get the loan originated on May the 1st. So you would look at the amount of employees that you had in May and the amount of employees in June. You divide that by these numbers over here, so you pick either or. So obviously we're not seasonal, so we'd either pick option 1 or option 2. You're going to pick the option that you had the least amount of employees, because obviously then that would mean this number over here, you'd have a much higher likelihood of being at 100%. So you would either take it to your total numbers of FTEs per month in January and February of this year, or the date range of last year from February 15th to June 30th of last year. So keep that in mind, that's FTEs, right? So if you have a part-timer is not an FTE, they're a part of it. So if you have multiple part-timers, maybe 2 of them equal 1 FTE. So keep that in mind when you're figuring it out. I'll tell you the way that I'm doing it is I'm doing it based off the amount of hours worked. So let's say that I have let's say we have 4 part-timers. One's 25 hours, another's 20 hours, another's 30 hours, and another's 20 hours, right? I'm going to combine all those hours. I'm going to divide it by 40, and that's going to tell me how many FTEs I have of that. That seems to be the most logical way, and I think that would protect you from any issues from the government. I mean, that's a logical way to calculate that number. So that's one of the ways that you would get reduced. The second way that you would get reduced is if your payroll cost. So if you're paying an employee that's making less than $100,000, 25% less now when they come back than what you did prior, they will then reduce your payroll cost allowable by that amount. So what does that mean? So we'll just choose $50,000 as a number. So let's say before we had an employee that was getting paid $50,000, but now they're getting paid $30,000. So only 60% of what they were getting paid before. So that $20,000 difference is going to be reduced on your payroll cost. So that's going to reduce the maximum allowed that you could possibly get. So those 2 numbers right there would reduce the amount that you could get loan forgiveness for. Going back into here, I thought if you end up really wanting to look at a bit in some detail as well, I thought this is a good site that can help you out with some of those examples. I put an example right here, right, so that you could figure out how to get to your loan amount. But when it comes to the forgiveness, I thought this site did a good job with that. So I would really recommend that.
Now that Brian's gone over the Paycheck Protection Program, I wanted to share with you that we need to all have really good forecasting in place, some projections, some ideas to have different scenarios as they play out based on new patients, total patients, surgery, production, collection, and all these things we can track. And as it changes, we'll navigate efficiently through this week to week. So as it unfolds and we may not have enough money, or we have plenty, or it continues on or doesn't continue on, we'll be able to dial it in well. So stay tuned and we'll keep you abreast of what we're up to. Thanks for watching. This is so important right now. We'd love to help. So please reach out to my CEO, Jolene, at jolene@anklefoot.net, and we'll do our best to reach back to help you guys through this crazy, crazy time. Thanks.